So, with the college football season, coming to a close, and the fact that by the time you watch this, a majority of the bowl games will already be, you know, s- played and done, hopefully. The big question a lot of people obviously have is, wouldn't it have been better to hold off until spring 2021 to have a full-fledged college football season? The reason this is a question that a lot of people still will ask even after the season's done is due to the fact that when you look at the FCS and conferences like the SWAC, the MEAC, the Big Sky, Big South, a lot of them are actually holding off until the spring to have a full-fledged college football season and college football playoff. But again, the question is, would have it been better for the NCAA on the FBS level to do the same? And that is a legit question. I mean, there's a lot of conferences that were late to the party when they started, and a lot of them are going to have a lot of asterisks and controversy surrounding them, and a lot of question marks surrounding them of whether or not they should be put in the position that they're in, despite having this shorter schedule. I mean, yes, again, as I've talked about before when discussing this, name value is a big deal when it comes to some of these schools, along with marketing and all that. But the point is, they're still going to have an asterisk and question marks and controversy surrounding them of whether or not they should have been put into these positions. Because if the NCAA doesn't want to have controversy, they need to make sure that the teams they choose are teams that have had full-fledged seasons. And by the time you watch this, maybe they would have done that. We don't know. Maybe the teams that would have played in the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl are teams we wouldn't have expected. But again, the question that a lot of people want to know is, would it have been better? Well, a lot of people feel would have been, because one, by the time spring comes around this year, the vaccine would have been fully instituted and applied to most people that want to take it or have to take it. And basically, it would be safer. You'd have warmer weather. You wouldn't have to worry about the virus spreading as much. And you can just go on with your day, and you'd be able to have crowds in the stand. But again, the question is, would it have been a better solution, a better option? Now, those that would be arguing against it would argue the fact that even though it sounds good, that the thing that goes against it is its tradition. It's about keeping a tradition alive and well in some capacity, no matter what the circumstance. Even if some bowl games have to hold off until next year, until this whole thing's cleared up, basically it's about tradition, and that everyone is used to having a college football season in the spring. Everyone is used to having, a bowl season during the holiday season. So, again, the question is out there. Would it have been a better idea to hold off? To me, I'm just glad to see some kind of football out there despite the limited or no crowds. Because they realize, hey, they got to get our minds off what's going on. And that's the one thing that college and the pros are doing. They're realizing, look, crowds or no crowds, these people need something to keep their minds off what's going on. And this is what they're giving us. And I think that's great. I think it's a great constellation. But again, the question does come up. Would it have been better if they would have held off till the spring? Now, some, again, like I said, would argue that it would have been better because you would have, less worriness. You'd have less restrictions, if any. People would be allowed to attend games more so than what they are now. And it would feel like college football. It would feel like a legit college football season and not something that, even though it is happening, you feel like just doesn't have that same appeal. But what do you guys think? Do you think the NCAA, mostly on the FBS level, should have held off till the spring like the FCS is doing? Or do you think maybe they were right in keeping it the way they were because it's tradition, to do so, but also the fact that it keeps people's minds off what's going on? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I am out.